Hanson at Mr. Hanson 404, and today is Thursday. It's day 11 of Corona-tine, Corona-cation, whatever it is you're calling it. So I got my computer over here. So if I'm looking this way, I took some notes on things I want to talk about. So yesterday, I just wasn't really feeling it. Dress up day, fancy day, and I decided to rock this little spring ensemble. Bring a little light to life. So here we go. So today, today I just want to have I guess instead of monologue. I was trying to think of what is worthy of making a video, and there's some ideas that I had, and one of the things that I felt would be productive for myself, and maybe somebody out there, you guys, but maybe not, whatever. I wanted to talk about and think about why I started teaching, and then why I still teach. Not because I'm like thinking of quitting or something, but I think in this downtime, it's really nice opportunity to refocus and realign myself and make sure that I'm doing what I believe in every single day. So becoming a teacher was not like my lifelong goal. I started college with plans to become an engineer. I took Project Lead the Way classes in high school. I got an internship in high school at an engineering firm in Milwaukee, and I enjoyed that work. I enjoyed those classes. I've always kind of had that mathy, STEM, problem-solving mind, and that's where I thought. Prior to that, I wanted to do sports medicine, a physical trainer type of stuff like that. For a while, I thought about getting into like some finance stuff, again with the math background. Like, you go to these classes and they talk to you a little bit about what's out there, and if you're good at math, these are the things they throw. So anyways, I started college, UW-Milwaukee. A lot of my classes were in the EMS building, if you know what that is. It's like the engineering, and like I just did not really vibe with a lot of people. College for me was straight, but whatever. I don't remember the exact moment, but I just remember thinking to myself, like, you know what, maybe this isn't what I want to do. So I remember, like, now looking back, like, I really should have seen that this was more of a possibility than I thought. I'm the oldest sibling, so I've always kind of been like, that older brother or mentor. I've always looked after or helped with younger kids, or I mean, not even younger, but just whatever. I played a lot of sports when I was younger, and when I did that, I kind of became like a player type coach. I was always more into like the cerebral part of the game, and I seen things differently. I remember getting told a lot that I should be like a life coach. Like, I think I was still in high school as that was happening. So I don't know. I think I've just been good at like being able to say the right things and like read people. So I think that whole switch happened. I remember thinking back to high school and middle school and really school, and I remember I liked some of my teachers, but I didn't really have like a strong connection with more than a handful. Like, if I've seen some, I say hi, and I've seen some, and there's some teachers that they have my phone number, we're friends on social media. I've seen them outside of randomly, because of the connection that we built. And I remember that even though I didn't always like school, feel like school, like it was easy for me a lot of the time, and it just wasn't very stimulating, and I was distracted. My mind was elsewhere. I had a lot of stuff going on. I had my job, so I was, once I was a junior, I barely was coming to school. But I remember those teachers that I had a connection with, that I liked being around. I enjoyed their class regardless, or I did the work regardless, and I wanted to learn because of who they were. And coming through school, that some of these teachers, they really helped me become who I am, in terms of just like little bits of advice or just modeling, and having inspiration. Like, there's some teachers that really give me even to this day, just like strength, knowing like who they are and their struggles and how they were able to handle them day to day basis. Um, so I remember the conversation be like, I know I could always be an engineer. I could go teach, hate it, become an engineer. I don't think I would become an engineer and then switch to teaching. I think that'd be harder. Um, so I made the decision, you know, because I was at an engineering firm. I still do work there in summers, and I love it. And I loved what I did then. It was fun. It's just I didn't see myself being there every single day for the 20 plus years or whatever. So that's really what made me decide. Okay, let's change majors. And when I started convincing myself this was the right decision, like I was looking things up, and there's the money end of it and the stats, like most half of teachers don't make it past year 5. And I'm from MPS, from public schools, and public school teachers really don't last. And it was tough. So I just thought back to things that I needed to convince me. And I thought back to freshman year high school. I admittedly 8th grade, 9th grade, I was kind of a hot mess. So it's one of the reasons why I teach freshmen, because I understand that you can be a mess at that age and still bounce back. I think I'm doing pretty straight for myself. But I remember I went to my English teacher with the permission slip, and it was to go to like UW Stout or something for like a college trip. And he was like in his room, in his classroom, not by himself. He was with another adult. And I went in there, said something, and he like laughed, like audibly laughed when I gave it to him. And he signed it and didn't really like look at me or say nothing. And like I I'm not gonna call nobody out, but like I really appreciate that chip that is on my shoulder from that, because I'm the type of person that you challenge me to something. If it's in my best interest, I'm gonna win. And that really stuck with me. At first, it didn't. I did not react in a positive way, like personally about that. But whatever. And then at that time I was about 18, 19, and I had some older, just people that were my age and older, and I could see that they weren't headed on the right path. That they were already in trouble. They really didn't have a positive future in front of them. And I realized that part of that could have been they didn't have people along the way helping them. And then college, I remember, man, like those math classes, they were dry, they were stale. And a teacher that doesn't make the content exciting, doesn't make the content interesting, relatable, it doesn't matter if you get it or not. You're not going to be into it. I slept through a lot of college classes. Not good, but hey. So, and then the reason I chose math was for that reason. And then math has always been my best subject in school. It's just I've naturally always been good with numbers. Like numbers stick to my brain even now, for random things. So going into teacher school and student teaching, I quickly saw just how stagnant school can be, and how things are more of the same from when I was in school, from when people were in school, and that really fresh ideas can kind of just come to schools and die. And in my student teaching, I realized how I just had a knack for interacting with kids and building relationships and building strong connections. And I remember that being like kind of frowned upon my first, like when I was student teaching, still like working with like your mentors and stuff, like getting told some kind of crazy stuff. I remember getting told like, oh, like, you shouldn't smile till Christmas, and, just other of these like childish, like super old school traditional, like, let's keep these kids in line and get them in their desks. And I was just like, man, like, we as a society can do better, and I can't be a teacher like that. So early on, that was a motivation for me to do things the way that I think and I believe are best for kids. And as a student teacher, what sold me on teaching, because a lot of kids young adults that go through the college teaching programs don't end up teaching. I remember like those connections and the like the light bulb moment, like sharing in that joy of like when somebody finally gets it. Um, those are amazing, and then being able to have strong connections with you guys, with kids, like being able to help somebody through a rough day, knowing that if I wasn't there and they didn't have another adult to lean on, that they might have had a worse day or might push them somewhere else. Um, those things really drove me to stick with it. So I remember my first year, and I just wanted to do it my way. And there's all these things about wait till you've been here for a while, and wait, you're not a teacher. You're not. I remember, you're not a teacher till you've been teaching for 5 years, and um, all of those things I just took and was like, I'm doing this the way I want to do. I'm not going to get worn out by this whole staff lounge. I'm not going to get worn out by these politics. And I've had my moments over the years, uh, where I wavered, but and I feel like teachers, like, we love to complain about things, and it's like for me, like, it's definitely like a stress reliever, coping mechanism. But 6 years in the game, I'm still here, and I love what I'm doing. Um, and that whole 5 year teacher thing, man, like it can take some 5 years, but like for me, like my first year, hit the ground running. Like obviously, I grow every year, but I was phenomenal my first year. That's why I started. Um, so here's why I still do this. Um, I love being able to make impacts on the lives of kids, um, especially at the age you guys are. I chose to work with freshmen as much as possible because I think back personally, I can relate to that time. But freshman year is such a big year. Like that's why we have Link Crew, because all the data says that if freshman year don't work out, your odds of making it are lower. Um, so that's huge for me, and I will argue this to my deathbed. But freshmen teachers should be getting like hazard pay almost. Like you guys are a lot. You're a lot. Half the time, your body's a lot. You can't even control what you're doing. We have a lot of you guys in one room compared to some of the upperclassmen, and that's my personal bias. So if you're one of those teachers that's got 12, 20 kids in your room, hey, and they're all seniors, it is what it is. But it's just a rough job with freshmen, especially coming through our middle school system, where some of you guys sadly are underprepared. Um, I love being someone's person. So what I mean by that is, I know that there's kids that I've had in the past or do now, you know, that are going through something happens, good or bad, and they look for me. They seek me out to talk to me about it, and that's special. And I don't want to disappoint people that have me as their person or need me as their person. And I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea. Some of you guys are like, I would never tell you anything, and that's cool. So I'm not. But for those of you that are, I thank you for giving me that opportunity and allowing that. Because those things like that really make this job worth it sometimes. Um, I love being able to get other people excited about math. Everybody said, how many of your parents are like, I was never a math person, or they're like, I remember having to do, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and they don't know what it's called, or they'll say something about an m and or an x, or they'd be like, we don't use this in real life, whatever. Um, but it's fun for me to show people the joy of math and seeing that it is useful and the math practice standards and being able to persevere and problem solve and model and explain. There's things that you do every single day. Well, you should be able to do every single day. I love being able to hear and listen and see growth and see you guys talking confidently and knowing how good you've become with something, or you struggle, and then at the end of a unit, at the end of the month, at the end of the year, you are just a whole nother person because you have worked so hard. That's amazing to me. Seeing that growth, over the course of freshman year, seeing you year to year, seeing you 4 years. I got kids that, I got on my Twitter, or, from when I student taught, and, somebody I student taught cuts my hair, well, not now, but they usually do, and one of them cut my daughter's hair, and just, seeing you guys as young adults grow and hearing stories about where you are in your life is it's just amazing. Like it's something that a lot of people I don't think know or get to experience in their life. Um, and the other thing, every single day at school, every single day teaching is different. A lot of it can feel monotonous and we get caught up in the weeds. Um, but there's always new challenges, there's new breakthroughs, there's new research, there's new tools, new styles, new methods, there's new things to do, there's new kids every year. You guys sometimes every day is different. There's something going on and it's just fresh. It keeps me on my toes, and I need that in my life a little bit because you know me, I'm a little squirrely with my mind sometimes, and I need things to stimulate me and keep me going with the purpose. Um, and I think the biggest blessing that I didn't anticipate having in this profession is I have learned and still do learn so much about teaching and mathematics and psychology and kids and life and myself through this job, through being an educator. Um, I was not at Miss Transform for before I started teaching. Um, you would have never caught me leading a pep rally or doing some things I do. And Link Crew has given me those opportunities to grow, and just being with young energy has given me those opportunities. So, I love my job. I love teaching. I love being with you guys. It's what I do, and I'm gonna do what I'm good at. So long term, some of you guys know about my dream of opening a school. I've got some really great ideas. I'd say the closest thing I've heard to it, there's a school in DC that's doing a lot of cool things, and then like the LeBron schools have a lot of ideas that I've shared. Um, but that's what I really want to do is a smaller school where I can really have an impact um, in how we treat kids, what we teach kids, how we prepare kids for their futures, making our work meaningful every day. And it's not to say like what we're doing now is not those things. It's when you're in a bigger district, bigger school, it's hard to do that sometimes. So for now, I know I can affect what I can affect. I can control what I can control, and I would do that, and I will continue to do that. And this is me talking to myself. Um, but as I get to this next stage of my life, I think coming up with more concrete plans and maybe looking for opportunities to get into like smaller progressive schools that are opening or newer to kind of start this process. And again, I need you guys now. So I mean, I started in this 6 years ago. Hopefully soon, some of you out there will be graduating college or getting your own business started or whatever, and you're gonna get lots of money, and you can help me do this. So then you can send your kids to me. So that's the plan. Get rich so you can help me get my school. I would say I'm gonna win the lottery, but there's with what's going on there's a I don't know, I don't have the source to credit the person, but the tweet, it was something like the same people who play the lottery every week are the people that are telling you that coronavirus isn't real or that the threat's not real, and that's amazing. Like if you understand math, that's super funny. Um, so yeah, that's what I want to do. And as a teacher, you can kind of get caught up in the wheel, and it's easy to get stuck in like the day to day. And teaching is such a demanding career, and our workload is so much more than you see. It's like the tip of the iceberg is the teaching. Like that's the easy part. That's the fun part. That's the part that we like to do. And then there's so much stuff behind that we got to do. So being in front of 30 kids 3 times a day is what gives us energy to do the other stuff, even though that's really draining in itself. Um, and when we get stressed as humans, like we get into survival mode, and you don't innovate when you're surviving. You're trying to make it to the next day, to the next, and we don't have that forward thinking. And if you look at like civilizations over the course of history, like in times of war or when people were struggling, like technological advances didn't really happen. Those things happen when people can sit back and research and study, like Greek, all these people that figured out math, like these mathematicians weren't out here trying to find their next meal. Like they had time to come up with all the crazy stuff that we teach you guys now. So, you know, you kind of got to be at peace to look ahead. And right now, you know, I'm at peace. I mean, this is definitely a tough time, and like I feel like I kind of went through it the last couple of days mentally, just missing everything. But this is a time where we can innovate. So I think I know I did this video more for myself than anything. Sometimes you have to speak things into existence, and this is going to be my anchor for a while, in case, you know, I'm not feeling it or things are going on and school is challenging or whatever. But to any teacher out there, you know, your crazy ideas are probably amazing. And if not, at least they'll be different, and the kids that see them will probably love them, or at least they'll remember them, or maybe they'll truly be awful. But it's okay, because we all make mistakes. It's okay to feel different or isolated if you think you're doing what you believe is best for kids. There's been a lot of days in my career that I've felt I don't want to say alone, but just different, and it's hard to relate to people when and I think some of it's perceived on my end, but when you do things differently, like it's recognizable, you're different. And I think as humans, like, we want to fit in, we want to be accepted, and it's sometimes we give up a little bit of who we are to do that, and I think I've done that sometimes, and I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do that no more. I'm not doing it no more at all. I don't think I do it that much, but I'm not going to do it at all. And, you know, try to take some time and find things to anchor you for those tough days. You know, I've got binders. I got a bag with binders in it of all, like, the notes and cards and thank you letters and artwork and everything that I've gotten from kids. And I got pictures on my phone. And those are just nice reminders of what I do. And then for, you know, potential teachers, I have a feeling Talia's going to be a teacher. She wants to be a vet, but she's got outward, she looks like it. I will say it's rough in this current world climate. You know, teaching's not a highly respected career. There's not a lot of tools given to us to deal with some of the challenges that we don't have control over, and yet as a teacher you're supposed to play all these roles, you know, and fix all these things and be there for kids who have all these stuff going on, and also, you know, algebra is a required credit, so it's tough. And the pay's not great, but, you know, all the things I said are true, and you can make a difference every single day. If you change one life, that's huge, and you can be the difference for that one kid that couldn't connect with anybody else, but now they're out here doing great things, getting rich, and donating to my school. So that's a wrap on day 11. I don't know how long this video went. I had some notes. I needed this. So if you listened all the way through, thank you. If not, it's cool too. But I would love to hear some of your thoughts on education, some of your thoughts on, you know, what we as teachers can do differently from either perspective. But stay safe out there. Tomorrow's Friday. You know, maybe you need to, like, make a fake weekend party to get yourself in the zone. But I'm playing some Animal Crossing tonight, and I think I'm going to play some Call of Duty tonight, and things are great. So I'll see you guys later. Mr. Answer 4.